Good morning, students. Now we'll continue the last class. In the last class, we discussed the electric field intensity at the any one of the corner due to the charges located at two corners of an equilateral triangle, as well as at the center of the triangle. What is the electric field intensity? Those cases we discussed. Now we'll continue that. If a square is taken, so in the square, if three equal charges are placed, what is the electric field intensity due to those three charges at the fourth corner? How much it is there? As well as if four corner charges is there, what is the electric field intensity at the center? Three corners charges is there, what is the electric field intensity at the center? Different cases we will be discussed related to the square case. Now I am going to start that. If three charges are placed at three corners of a square, if three equal charges we are taking, three charges are placed at the three corners of a square, the electric field intensity at the fourth corner we are discussing. Now let us take the square like this, whose side length is L or A, you can take it. So now we are placing the charges, equal charges at A, B, C. At these three corners we are locating the equal charges Q. Now we are going to find the electric field intensity at the fourth corner D. We want to find due to these three charges. Now we can say the electric field intensity due to positive charge is away from it, and due to the charge at A, the electric field intensity at D is which is away from it, that is E1. The electric field intensity due to the charge at C, that is E3, which is away from it. And electric field intensity due to the charge at B at D is which is away from it, like this it will be there. So it is acts so like this it is acts, so it is diagonally in this direction, it is E2. Now these resultant will be the electric field intensity at the point T. Now you know these two are length L in the sense this will be root 2L. So this is root 2L. Now electric field intensity due to charge at A, that is E1, at B E2, at due to at C here is E3. Now electric field intensity at D due to charge at A, that is E1 equal to, we can write 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Charge and distance is L, so we can write Q by L square away from along AD. Similarly, here I am taking that E3 is electric field intensity at D due to charge at C, which is away from it. E3 is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into Q by L square along CD. And electric field intensity at D due to charge at B is electric field intensity at B at D due to charge at B, due to the charge at B is that is E2 equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Here, due to the charges, only the distance varies. These two distance is L, but in this case distance is root 2 L. So we can have the Q by distance is root 2 L whole square, in the sense 2 L square. This is along BD. Along BD. Now you understand. Here E3, E1, E3, there are two equal magnitude of electric field intensities and they are mutually perpendicular to each other. The magnitude of E1, magnitude of E3 are same, is E, and angle between them E1 and E3 is 90 degrees. If angle between them is 90 degrees, if two equal vectors and angle between them is 90 degrees, in the sense we have the resultant we can write as a under root of E13. So E13 is under root of E1 square plus E3 square. That is, anyhow E1, E3 both are same. That can be written as root 2 E. E in the sense either E1 or E3 both are same. That's why we are taking like that. So root 2 times the E1 and E3 is expression 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q by L square. So resultant of E13 is between E1 and E3, angle is 90 degrees. Resultant will be root 2 times the 1 upon 4 pi epsilon Q by L square. So angle 90 degrees, if these two are magnitudes are equal, so resultant will be exactly bisector of it. Exactly bisector of it means, so that is along the direction of BD only. So the resultant of E1 and E3 is along the bisector of E1 and E3, that is along the direction of E2. So this is the electric field intensity 1 E13. So now E1 E3 resultant is E13 along the direction of E2. E2 is this much. So resultant electric field intensity at D is two vectors are along the same direction, means resultant will be, that is E2 plus E13. Therefore resultant electric field intensity at D is, therefore resultant electric field intensity at D is E are equal to E13 plus E2. E13 just now we calculated, that is we know it is root 2 times the 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q by L square, plus E2 is 1 by 2 times the 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught times the Q by L square. So then we can get the result 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q by L square into root 2 plus 1 by 2. This is the resultant electric field intensity at any one of the corner due to the equal charges present at three corners of a square. So this is the same kind of result you observed in the force case also. The force experienced by any one of the corner charge due to the remaining three in a square, we discussed the similar result. There Q square will come, here just Q will come. This is along BD. So this is magnitude and direction is along the BD. So this is the case of three equal charges are located at the three corners. Now we can go for another case, that if three equal charges are there, now what is the resultant electric field intensity at its center? We will discuss it. Now the same case, but instead of any one of the corner, now we are going to discuss at the center. So resultant electric field intensity at center of square, same case we are discussing. Now earlier how we taken the, in the same way we are taking that here the charges at A, B, C At four corners we are locating the three corners we are locating the charges Q. Now we are discussing the electric field intensity not at any one of the corner. We are going to discuss the electric field intensity at the center. Now we are finding the electric field intensity at the center. Center in the sense where the two diagonals meet. That point we will call it as a center. The center is O. Here you want to find the electric field intensity due to these three charges. So we are taking the side length of the square as L and the diagonal distance is root 2L. But here center to the vertex is what? Center to this any one of the corner distance is half of the root 2L. So it will be L by root 2. So L by root 2 is the distance of the charge from the distance of the center from any one of the corner. Now electric field intensities will be discussed here. Due to charge present at A, the electric field intensity at center O is away from it, that is E1. Similarly, the electric field intensity charge located at B at O is away from it because of positive charge. Electric field intensity away from it, that is we discussed E2. And because of charge at C, electric field intensity at O is away from it, that is E3. Like that we have the three electric field intensities E1, E2 and E3. Now we will be calculate here the electric field intensity, at O due to charge at A, that is E1 is nothing but 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q by, here distance is it is away from it, distance here is L by root 2 whole square, so L square by 2, that is we will get 2 into 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q by L square. In the same way, the electric field intensity is due to the charges present at B and C will get the magnitude same only, but the direction only the difference here. This is away along AO. Similarly, I will write that. Similarly, E2 is 1 upon 2 times the 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q by L square. That is along BO, and E3 is nothing but same 2 into 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q by L square. This is along CO. Then you will observe these directions here. E1, magnitude of E1, magnitude of E2, magnitude of E3 all are same. Magnitude of E1, magnitude of E2, magnitude of E3 all are same. Magnitude of E1, E2, E3 and that is equal to E. If this is the same we can have. Then if these are equal, now you observe all are having same magnitude and these two are opposite in directions. Opposite in directions in the sense these two resultant will be become 0. Still what will be remain in the sense that is only E2 will be remain, because these two are equal and opposite means the resultant of E1 and E3 is 0. Still what will be remain then E2. So resultant electric field intensity is E2 only. Therefore you can write that here like this. It is there, we have at the center E1 O, E3 and like this E2. All are, these two are magnitude wise equal and opposite, these two will be cancelled. So resultant electric field intensity we can write as a resultant electric field intensity as E equal to E2, that is 2 times the 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q by L square. So this is the resultant electric field intensity at the center. Suppose if one of the charge is negative, means what will be the resultant, we can find it out. Let us see here, similar case. We took 3 corners like charges Q, but any one of the charge is negative charge, means what is the result? How it is going to be change the result, that we will be discussing. Let us see, the case is if charges Q comma Q and minus Q, charges Q comma Q and minus Q are located at the corners of a square. If the charges Q comma Q and minus Q are located at the corners of a square, the electric field intensity at the center is then of a square, the electric field intensity at center. So electric field intensity at center, in the sense we can take it that here we are going to take a square. We are going to take a square whose charges are A, B, C. At charge A we take Q, B we taken Q, at C we have taken minus Q, at D. Now due to these at center, what is the electric field intensity? We need to be find it out. What is the electric field intensity at center O? We know the distance is L by root 2, L by root 2, L by root 2. Now one of the charge is negative, in the sense the electric field intensity due to the charge at A is, which is away from it, that is E1, and electric field intensity at charge at B is, that is away from it, that is E2. The electric field intensity due to charge at C, that is minus Q in the sense, that is negative charge, in the sense electric field intensity is towards it, that is E3, like this. Now you observe, so this is we are discussing that the electric field intensities are E1 and E3 towards the charge, and here one more electric field intensity E2, and angle between them is 90 degrees. Already we calculated E1 and E3 both are in same in magnitude, so that is only we have the same result, E1, E2 and E3 having a same magnitude E, that E equal to what? 2 into 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught what? Q by L square. Okay, that is E we are writing. Now E1, E3 both are in the same direction, then E13, resultant of E1 and E3 is resultant of E1 and E3, that is E13 equal to E1 plus E3, that is E1, E2, E3 all are same, that is E plus E is 2E. E plus E is 2E. Now we can say here this is, you can understand, E13 that is 2E, E2 that is E, and angle between them is 90 degrees. So if two vectors are there, angle between them is what? Angle between them is 90 degrees, in the sense resultant will be ER. Resultant will be ER equal to under root of 2E square plus E square, that is root 5 E. So root 5 E in the sense 2, that is root 2 5 2 root 5 into 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into Q by L square. So this is the net electric field intensity at a center. So due to the charges are located at the corners, at the two corners positive charge, at the third corner negative charge is located. Next we can go for the another cases that if these are the different cases we have. Dipole, we discussed that dipole, what is a dipole? Means system of two charges, equal and opposite charges separated by certain distance is called as the electric dipole. And electric dipole case, potential energy stored in the electric dipole also we have the potential energy. The next case I am going to take that force between charges, we have expression. If two charges are there, point charges, if these 2 point charges are separated by certain distance is there, in the sense if the vacuum is the medium, means a free space, what is the force experienced by these charges? We have F equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. So this is a formula you can use when we have charges, point charges Q1 Q2 are there. Suppose in place of point charges we have dipoles. So two dipoles are there like this. One is Q1 minus Q1. This is having dipole moment is P1. Here Q2 minus Q2 plus Q2, dipole moment is P2. So these are not individual charges, these are dipoles. In between these two dipoles, what is the force? What is the force? So directly you cannot take it this kind of formula Q1 Q2 by R square. So here system of two charges is there. What is the force between them if they arrange along the line, or if they arrange along like this? If they arrange like this, one is dipole momentum P1, another one is dipole momentum P2, minus Q1 plus Q1 minus Q2 plus Q2, like the two dipoles are there separated by distance R. What is the force in this case? So these are the forces we need to be calculated. So in this case, what is the force experienced by it? We need to be calculated here. So just I am telling that if 2 point charges is there, force like this you can write. But sometimes they may ask you, if two dipoles are there, what is the force between them if they place in vacuum? How to find out the force between two dipoles, whether they arranged in along the line, so whether they arranged perpendicular to a line. So that case will be discussed it. Before that, one more time I am recollecting the formulas there. If dipole is there, if two charges are present, so that is, you may have forgot it, the previous videos you can see once again. If two charges are there, if two charges are separated by a distance is r is there, dipole moment is charge into distance between the charges, and dipole moment direction is from negative charge to positive charge. As well as if the dipole is placed in an electric field, what will happen here is there is some potential energy stored in it. So here dipole is there, and if it is the electric field intensity, it makes an angle theta, dipole momentum. Then what is the potential energy? Because always this electric field try to be aligned it in the direction of electric field. So against that, if you are doing some work, that work will be stored as energy. So potential energy is stored in the dipole. That is also we discussed. Once you revise that, the potential energy stored in a dipole is we have potential energy Pe equal to minus, we can write potential energy equal to minus Pe cos theta, where P is the dipole moment, E is the electric field intensity, and theta is the angle between dipole moment and electric field intensity. This is potential energy expression. See, we have conditions that conservative, non-conservative forces are there. So conservative force time, whatever the work you are doing, that work will not be gets wasted, completely recollectible, and it is stored as in a form of energy. But non-conservative forces cannot be regained totally. Whatever the work you are doing, that is cannot be recoverable. So the conservative forces example is gravitational force, electrostatic force. These are the cases. So those are, we can call it as a conservative forces. In case of conservative force, one thing you can write that force is a negative gradient of potential energy. So electrostatic force, if you want to find it out, electrostatic force is a conservative force. That's why what we can write is electrostatic force is a conservative force. Electrostatic force is a conservative force. What is the meaning of conservative force? Means the force which the work done using this force can be recoverable totally, and the work done is not depends on the path followed. That is you studied in the first year conservative force. In conservative force is nothing but negative gradient of potential energy. Okay, so negative gradient of potential energy is called force. This formula is needed. So here also we use, to find the force, we use this formula. Force is nothing but negative gradient of potential energy. This is in work energy power. In first year we will be discuss these conservative force, non-conservative forces. In conservative force, potential energy is there. How can you find the force? So this is comes in first year. So now I am using this formula. So we have recollected these sentences. Now I am going to discuss that the next case, that is continuation. Here the force between dipoles, the force acting between the dipoles. First case, case 1 I am taking. So if the dipoles are arranged along a line, if the dipoles are placed along a line, so if they are placed along a line, in the sense we have that one dipole here, minus q1 plus q1, this is one dipole. So this dipole moment is p1. So this is the dipole moment direction, and from this dipole at a distance r, here one more dipole is there, here minus q2 and here plus q2, like this we have. So another dipole whose dipole moment is p2. So between these two separation is r. Now what will be there means what is the force between these two dipoles, we need to be determine it. The force between these two dipoles, how can we determine? Here is so this will be exact electric field on it, and this is also exact electric field on it. So this is along the line joining. This is along the line joining means so this dipole will exert axial electric field on it. So first dipole will be produces axial electric field on the second dipole. So first dipole will produces axial electric field. Axial electric field means away from the, along the direction of dipole moment. Dipole moment is towards right. So electric field intensity due to this dipole at this second dipole is also be away from it. Okay. Now this is what axial electric field due to this dipole. Already we discussed, we studied previously the electric field intensity due to dipole along its axial line, electric field intensity due to dipole along its equatorial line. We have the expressions. The electric field intensity due to this dipole along axial line E1 equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into 2p by r cube. 2p here P in the sense first dipole producing electric field here. That's why first dipole moment you will write 2P by 2P1, first dipole producing electric field. So 2P1 by what is the distance between these two is R cube. Now you observe this dipole will producing electric field E1, and in this electric field which dipole is there? P2 dipole is there. Then how much of potential energy stored in this dipole? Therefore the potential energy of dipole U equal to, what is the formula we discussed? The potential energy is equals to PE cos theta. So minus P in the sense of P2 here, and what is the electric field at this P2 dipole? E1. And how these two are? They are in the same direction. So same direction means cos 0. Then we can write P2 E1. Then you have the formula that U equal to minus E1 is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught 2 P1 by R cube into here P2 is there, so P2. So this is the potential energy stored in the second dipole due to the electric field produced by the first dipole. So potential energy is there, but our intention is what? Force, to determine the force between the dipoles. So force, how can we determine? In the sense we can determine by taking the gradient of this potential energy. So because electrostatic force is a conservative force, that's why we can find it out by using the what gradient of this potential energy. So force we can write as a force F equal to negative gradient of potential energy. So here distance also minus du by dr we took here. So we can write minus of d by dr of, what is u here? Minus of 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught 2 P1 P2 by R cube. So minus of minus plus it will be. And one constant here 2 P1 P2 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, everything is constant except R. So we are differentiating with respect to R, so except R, remaining we can take it outside of the differentiation. So 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught 2 P1 P2 into, here anyhow these minus plus d by dr of 1 by R cube. So we can differentiating 1 by R cube in the sense we'll have 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into 2 P1 P2, here minus 3 by what will be R power 4. So minus 3 by, you will get differentiation of d by dr of R power minus 3 in the sense minus 3 into R power minus 3 minus 1. So minus 3 R power minus 4 in the sense minus 3 by R power 4. So that's why directly I am writing minus 3 by R power 4. Then you will get here the result is minus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught 6 P1 P2 by 6 P1 P2 by R power 4. So this is the result you have to be understand. So force between two dipoles which are placed along a same straight line means the result is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught 6 P1 P2 by R raised to 4. So minus indicates that there is a attractive in nature. So the two dipoles will attract each other, this is the case. So now if these two dipoles are placed like this, if two dipoles are placed like this, is one will be exact force of attraction, they will be attracted. But if they placed like this, what happens? This dipole will exert electric field over it, this will also produce electric field over it. Then what happens in this case also, there is a attractive or repulsive force is there. Now we discuss this kind of arrangement. Now we can discuss this kind of arrangement is there. So dipoles are arranged like this vertically, means perpendicular to the line joining these two centers. Then what is the electric field? What is the force between the electric dipoles? We will be discuss it. Now we go for the second case. That if case 2 here, case 2, the dipoles are arranged what perpendicular to it to the line joining the two charges. So if the dipoles are arranged in the following, if the dipoles are arranged, if the dipoles are arranged as following, suppose if I am taken that here minus q1, here minus q1, here this is a plus q1, this is a dipole, this dipole is a p1. You know dipole moment is along what, along from negative charge to positive charge. So from this at a distance r, from this at a distance r, here we are taking the another dipole here minus q2 and minus q2 plus q2 here, and this dipole moment is p2 along this direction, and these two centers separated by r. Now in this case also there is a force between the dipoles. So this dipole will exert a field. What kind of field this will be produces means that is equatorial electric field. In the same way this dipole also will exert a equatorial electric field on it. So what is the expression for equatorial electric field? We know the equatorial electric field is nothing but equatorial electric field is nothing but 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught P by RQ formula, and this direction is opposite to the dipole moment. So direction is opposite to dipole moment, opposite to the dipole moment. So why I will find it out that electric field intensity due to the first dipole. So the electric field intensity due to the first dipole at second dipole is what kind of electric field intensity will produce as if they arrange like this, axial field, but this is arranged like this means equatorial field will be produced. That equatorial electric field is opposite to the dipole moment, okay, opposite to the dipole moment. So in this direction, opposite to the dipole moment, electric field E1 will be there. What is that E1? Formula for E1 is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon P by R cube. E1 in the sense P1 by your distance is R. So we can write E1 equal to, so electric field intensity at P2 due to dipole P1 is E1 equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught P1 by R cube. That is opposite to it. Then these two electric fields are opposite. What is the potential energy developed in it? Because whenever this dipole is present in the electric field, so in this dipole some potential energy is stored. What is the potential energy? We have the expression potential energy stored in dipole P2 is U equal to minus P2E1 cos. Here what is the angle between these two? They are opposite to each other. So opposite to each other in the sense cos 180 degrees. So cos 180 degrees. Why? Because electric field intensity, dipole moment are quite opposite to each other. So angle between P2 and E1 is opposite in the sense 180 degrees here. So U equal to, you have minus P2 E1 cos 180 minus 1. So U equal to P2 E1. E1 in the sense, just now we know the expression now, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught P1 by R cube. So U equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught P1 by R cube into P2 is there, so P2 will come. This is the potential energy in this dipole. Now our intention is not to find the potential energy, our intention to find the force between them. So force means, how can you write? Force is nothing but a negative gradient of potential energy. So force we can calculate by calculating the force F is equals to minus du by dr. So force is nothing but minus du by dr. That is minus dr of what we have, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught p1 p2 by r cube. Then here 1 by 4 pi minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught p1 p2, if you take common we can differentiate 1 by r cube. So 1 by r cube means, just already we discussed, that is minus 3 by r power 4 will come. So 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught p1 p2 minus 3 by r power 4. So minus of minus plus will come. So 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught 3 p1 p2 r raised to 4. Here plus sign came. So plus sign came in the sense these two repel each other. So the two dipoles repel each other. So you understand one thing, if the electric dipoles are placed along the line, along a line, then what is the electric force between them is 6 p1 p2 by r power 4. But electric field dipoles are arranged like this, then the force between them is 3 p1 p2 by r power 4. So difference you observe. Okay, so these are the forces between the electric, because directly they may ask what is the force between two electric dipoles in the following arrangement, means you have to observe. If they arranged along axial line, then 6 p1 p2 by r power 4, and if they arranged equatorial in the sense 3 p1 p2 by r power 4, like that you can able to solve the cases. These are the direct results they may ask, otherwise they will give you the dipole moments and they will ask you to find these formulas. Next we are going to discuss that already the dipole cases we discussed, and in the some NCERT problems also will be there. Suppose if a system of two charges, that is a system of two charges, they given like this. So example of two NCERT problems related to the dipoles. They given two NCERT problems. They have a system of two charges, one is QA, that is equal to 2.5 into 10 raised to minus 7 coulomb, and QB is equal to minus 2.5 into 10 raised to minus 7 coulomb, located at points. One is at point 0, 0 and minus 15 centimeters. Another one is at point B 0, 0 and plus 15 centimeters. So what is the question they are asking is the total charge and as well as the dipole moment. Questions they are asking, one is total charge and second one is dipole moment. So dipole moment, total charge and dipole moment. You observe here the two charges are located at one is at minus, this is, you can take x1 y1 z1, x2 y2 z2. So along z-axis the two charges are located. Along negative z-axis 15 centimeters from the origin, first charge is located, and along the positive z-axis 15 centimeters from the origin, second charge is located. So now you can solve this by taking that if two axes are there, like the coordinate system we are taking, x, this is z, this is y, and I want here one more axis, z axis, that is minus z. Now from this origin at this point is A, that is 0 comma 0 and minus 15 centimeters. Here what is located? Charge QA, that is 2.5 into 10 raised to minus 7 coulomb. And at B is what? 0 comma 0 plus 15 centimeters. At this B, charge QB is located. Charge QB is minus 2.5 into 10 raised to minus 7 coulomb. Then what the question they are asking? The question is here charges are there. First question is total charge. So total charge in the sense, total charge here, dipole in the sense we know they are equal and opposite charges. So equal and opposite charges summation, if you taken, what happens? They will be cancelled. So resultant will be 0. Therefore anyhow the dipole in the sense equal and opposite charges, summation of this is total charge Q, net charge is so plus 2.5 10 raised to minus 7 minus 2.5 10 raised to minus 7, that will be 0. And second one, what they are asking here, dipole moment. You know the dipole moment means product of either of the charge and distance between the charges. Product of either of the charge and distance between the charges. So dipole moment is P equal to either charge QA or QB, because anyhow both are the same magnitude, into distance between them. You observe the distance between them is here 15 centimeters, here 15 centimeters, totally it is 30 centimeters, so 30 centimeters. Then we can write QA is 2.5 into 10 raised to minus 7. Don't take sign here, only you take it as a what magnitude only, and 30 centimeters means 30 into 10 raised to minus 2. Then you will get here 0.75. Here 0.75 into 2.5, no, here 75 will come. 75 into 10 raised to minus 9 coulomb meter. Or else you can also write 0.75 into 10 raised to minus 7 coulomb meter. This is the dipole moment. And we can have one more case, that if an electric dipole, this is also NCERT question here, example problem, NCERT, an electric dipole with dipole moment, they given electric dipole with a dipole moment. I am taking the information directly. You refer the question in the NCERT textbook. So they are given that an electric dipole of dipole moment P equal to 4 into 10 raised to minus 9 coulomb meter, 10 raised to minus 9 coulomb meter, and is aligned at 30 degrees to the direction of uniform electric field, uniform electric field what is that uniform electric field? They given of magnitude 5 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per coulomb. Calculate the magnitude of torque acting on it. They are asking calculate the magnitude of torque acting on it. Magnitude of torque acting on it. See, magnitude of torque acting on it in the sense, whenever you already we discussed this case. So if the electric field is there like this, if electric field is there in this case, so uniform electric field, when a dipole is aligned making an angle, so by making an angle here theta E, the dipole moment is P like this, the torque acting on it is PE sin theta. magnitude. So P is the dipole moment, already they given. So E, that is the electric field intensity, that is also given. So angle, theta is the angle between these two. So they given P 4 into 10 raised to minus 9 coulomb meter, electric field intensity 5 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per coulomb, and theta is 30 degrees. Just to substitution only we need it here. So torque tau is equals to P in the sense of 4 into 10 raised to minus 9 coulomb meter, and electric field intensity E equal to this one. So into 5 into 10 raised to 4 into sine 30 degrees. Then you will get 20 into 10 raised to minus 5 into 1 by 2. So you will get 10 into 10 raised to minus 5 means 10 raised to minus 4 you will get. So 10 raised to minus 4 Newton meter. This is the magnitude of electric field intensity. Now these are the concepts of electric field intensity and electric dipole due to electric field intensity due to the dipole, and torque experienced by the dipole, all those things. Next we have that one more case in the dipole. When a dipole is placed in a uniform electric field intensity, it is going to be oscillate. It is going to be oscillate. So when you disturb from the main position, suppose if the dipole is placed like this and this dipole is placed in electric field is in towards right hand side. When you deflected the electric dipole like this, when you deflect this electric dipole, what happens? Torque is there, no? The torque is tends to be bring it back to own position. But because of moment of inertia, because everybody having an inertia, what inertia will do? Inertia will be, so the body cannot able to come to rest immediately, as well as the body which is in motion cannot able to comes to rest immediately, and when the body is at rest it cannot able to come to in motion immediately. So when torque is trying to bring it, because of inertia, what happens? It is going to this side. Again torque tends to bring it to this side. Again moment of inertia will try to bring it this side. What happens means here torque is trying to be tends to bring it back to field direction, means moment of inertia tends to move it in the opposite direction. Like that, what happens means this will be makes some oscillations. These oscillations are called what? Angular oscillations. This oscillations time period is how much? So that is the thing we will be discussing now. The oscillations of a time period, the time period of the oscillations of a dipole in a uniform electric field. The expression for time period of a dipole in a dipole oscillations of a dipole, time period of oscillations of a dipole, oscillations of a dipole in uniform electric field. In uniform electric field. Now let us see. We have that. This is a uniform electric field. In this uniform electric field, by taking a rigid support, we suspended one dipole like this. We suspended a dipole. So I told you, when you deflect it, so what happens when you deflect like this? The electric field tends to bring it back to this direction. Then this direction in the sense, what happens? The moment of inertia, when it is rest here, the moment of inertia tries it to keep it's here only. So moment of inertia tends to be turn it in the opposite direction. The electric forces tends to bring it back into the field direction. Like that, torque exerted by moment of inertia as well as torque exerted by electrostatic force, they are equivalent. I mean, they are opposite in direction. The same way, when this is if it is comes to here, the same way when it is comes to here, the same thing will be happen. Now what happens, this is electrostatic force again tends to be bring it back to field direction, but moment of inertia tends to be here only. Like that, what will happen here is it will be makes such kind of oscillations. That oscillation name called angular oscillation. That oscillations time period we need to be find it out. So so I is the moment of inertia of the dipole. I is the moment of inertia of the dipole, and P is the dipole moment. Now I am going to take that when it is oscillating at the torque produced by electric field, that is tau. Electric field is what? PE sin theta, and torque produced by moment of inertia is torque. This is already we discussed in a torque experiment by the dipole when it is placed in a what? Electric field. Torque produced by inertia is by inertia, that is you studied in first year, that is tau is equals to inertia is that is tau is equals to I alpha, where alpha is angular oscillations and I is the moment of inertia. See, at any point of equilibrium, the electric torque produced by electric field is acting in one direction, means the torque produced by the what? Moment of inertia acting in the another direction. So if it is at equilibrium, means these two torques are equal and opposite. So at equilibrium we can say these two torques are equal and opposite in magnitude. Equal in magnitude, opposite in direction at equilibrium condition. So we can write at equilibrium we can write as a tau E is equals to minus tau inertia. So that is PE sin theta equal to minus I alpha. So we can take it if oscillations are very small. So if theta is small, because these oscillations we take it is very small angle. So like this small oscillations if it is making, then sin theta can be written as nearly theta. Then how it is going to be changed? Then it is going to be changed as a PE theta is equals to minus I alpha. So we have one expression that alpha equal to minus PE by I into theta. If you observe this expression, this is nothing but so from simple harmonic motion we have alpha equal to minus omega square theta. Then you observe this as you take as a 1, 2, now you take this as a 3 and this as a 4. You observe here this equation and general simple harmonic equation, if you compare it, so this is also makes simple harmonic oscillations only. So this is because this equation resembles the simple harmonic equation condition. So oscillations of this dipole is also the simple harmonic oscillations. And further you wanted to find that time period in the sense, so you compare these two equations. You compare these two equations, here omega square is nothing but what is there? Omega square plus PE by I. Comparing equations, what you have? Omega square equal to PE by I. Then omega equal to root over PE by I. Then omega means 2 pi by capital T equal to root over P by I. From this I am writing here time period T equal to 2 pi into root over I by PE. So this is the time period expression for oscillations of a dipole when it is placed in a uniform electric field. Okay, so where I is the moment of inertia, P is the dipole moment, and E is the electric field intensity. Remember here. Okay, so next we will be continue the continuous charge distribution in the next session.